Fair warning, this is dumb. Don't do this ever.
Hey everyone, welcome to the V&P Performance YouTube channel. My name's Chuck, and today we're going to try something out. I know at some point in time we've all been there. We've all thought, what's a cold air intake? It's just a tube and a filter. It can't be that hard. I know I did it back in high school. My CRX had the sickest cold air intake in the parking lot. So today we're going to take my 2019 Mustang GT, we're going to head down to Autozone, and we're going to see what we can do.
There it is, what we're looking for.
This should do the Derek right here.
Yeah, we got plenty of filters back at the shop.
Oh yeah. So we just need a cut a hole in the side of this for the MAF and bolt it up. Should make a lot of power. Blue matches the color of the car.
There we go.
All right, let's give it a shot.
I think you need this. No.
You know I'm buying this. Thank you. $89. Why do you need to spend all that big money for a nice intake when you can do this? There we go. Alright, time to make some power.
Ready to show everybody the fruits of our purchases?
I'm sure they're about to be massively impressed. Can you make it work? I mean, yeah.
It's almost the same, I guess.
It's basically the same diameter. I'm sure the inside diameter is probably the same, just the outside looks weird. Cut us open a MAF hole, buddy.
Fair warning, this is dumb. Don't do this ever.
That should be perfect. I think this is really going to work, Chris. I think we're going to save hundreds of dollars.
What is that?
Plenty of cold air intake.
Where did that come from? Heh, okay.
Do you think it'll work as well as a JLT or a PMAS?
Absolutely not. I bet it doesn't run. Have you tried starting it? I bet it doesn't run.
You don't think so?
No. I know what I'm talking about. Yep. All right. Oh, good luck.
Tip number
Why
one.
cold airs matter so much. And when your tuner asks you specifically what cold air you have, this is why it's so important.
You know, I didn't see the drop down for this one.
We'll have to get on the website and really get that changed around. You really need to get Joe out here. I think Joe really needs to see this.
I don't know why you guys love me so much.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Oh, okay. Okay. Has that got the Spectre filter?
Yep, you got the Spectre filter. Oh, and it matches the car. Is that a coupler inside a coupler? That is a coupler inside a coupler. Well, our main concern is where's PCV going? Because we have engine vacuum to the intake manifold sucking in oil, but we don't have a way that it can suck in air through the other valve cover.
No, it's not really that important.
So we're putting this on the dyno?
If it'll start.
If it'll start? So it doesn't start the way it is. Or it
Maybe
does
with
start.
that plug now it will?
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll pull this vacuum cap off. Joe, you now have about a half-inch hole for a vacuum to, for manifold pressure to be bleeding. Exactly. It's a little too much. Let's cover that hole up. Let's make a smaller one. All right, about a 3/8 hole. Let's see if we can. All right. Just right. The manual tuning process is working. Let's get this thing on the dyno. All right. Oh, good luck, buddy.
This thing is over 70% smaller than the factory MAF.
Well, that just stinks.
Yeah.
So the MAF is smaller than stock?
It's smaller than stock. So with a stock transfer function, with hit by a factor of 0.7 already, it's seeing short terms of like 0.65 to 0.7.
Here, come up here, Chris. Let me show everybody what's going on. So this right here is the mass air sensor, and when you put the sensor in a different size tube, the transfer function changes. So effectively, it tells you just from tuning what the difference in airflow potential is. Did you guys make this from parts from AutoZone?
We did.
Okay, that explains a lot. So
We machined our own MAF housing.
yeah, that's pretty exciting. And yeah, cool. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna walk away from this and let you guys carry on. I'm sure there's a purpose behind this, and it'll come out at the end of the video.
So it looks like this cold air is a pretty big restriction up top. The car made 426 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque, but the power lays over pretty quick past 7,000, which isn't traditional with this intake manifold, and most likely due to a restriction in the cold air intake setup. So I'm going to review some of the data from the log, and we'll go from there. If you saw how quickly it dropped from like 6,700 to 8,000, you probably leave a deposit in your pants. Yeah, that's the gist of it, guys. The MAF was dialed in pretty much dead nuts on technically my second revision of the transfer function, but the way it flows air is not good. That's the easiest way to describe it. It just kind of goes super flat up top. Most likely the diameter of the housing mixed with the flow potential of the cold air intake itself is going to be the Achilles heel to this budget cold air intake.
So, Chuck, it sounds like our ingenuity was not very much appreciated.
Yeah. But it worked. Now it just needs to... You know, we're going to go back to the drawing board, actually. Hey, Joe.
Why?
We're going to go back to the drawing board on this. I'm gonna make some tweaks to it, okay?
Oh, man. We're going to take the filter off, right?
That's the race setting. It's for track use only. This is the Engine Evolution air intake. It's from Engine Performance. These guys actually sent this over for us to do some testing on, see how it worked on the car, see what kind of power we can make with it. I've been running on the car for a couple weeks. The drivability is great. It makes a nice sound. This is actually the first time we got it up on the dyno, so we're going to see what kind of power it can make.
Let's start it up and see what she does. So what we had on this car previously was an Autozone Spectre home build cold air intake thing that the guys picked up from Autozone to test on the car. And moral of that story is it's a bad idea. It doesn't flow very well for an engine that makes damn near 500 horsepower naturally aspirated. And you're better off going with a well-built, well-engineered aftermarket cold air intake that's designed specifically for your vehicle, such as the engine, the JLT, the PMOS, air raid, CNL, all those things. All those are made specifically for these cars, and all of them are designed with a MAF housing side that's actually large enough or similar to stock enough to where you can either run a stock tune or you can run an aftermarket tune on it and pick up the gains that you should be seeing with a cold air intake. But we're going to make another 6-gear run with the Injen Cold Air and see what it does. The last cold air
made 426 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and fell down about 100 horsepower by the time it was at 8. So let's see what this one does. This cold air intake made more power everywhere, and it had a pretty significant difference in power towards the top of the pole as compared with the Autozone cold air. We made 434 peak at 7,000 RPM and 405 horsepower, or 405 pound-feet of torque, sorry, at 4760. Let me see what the delta is at like 7,500. At 7,500, the Autozone cold air, their Spectre cold air made 388, and the engine made 422. And as far as torque goes, 296 with the engine and 272 with the Spectre cold air at 7,500 RPM. So we'll review the data logs, make sure everything looks good, and we'll be able to draw a more accurate conclusion as to why one's worse than the other or why one's better than the other, just beyond the data that we saw just via the dyno poll. So, for your guys' sake, again, biggest takeaway, properly designed cold air intake. Let your tuner know the model number or part number for the cold air that you're running so you get the correct MAF data the first hit. If you're wanting to be the first one to run a cold air intake, or you want to make your own custom cold air intake because you think you can do it better than everyone else that has engineers that are paid to do this stuff, then be prepared to have a couple back and forth with data logs and prepare to be told that the end result is not what you're looking for. So kudos goes to Injen on this one. They kicked the Autozone Spectre cold air intake's ass.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for us today. Remember, if you want a cold air intake like this engine, or you want to get tuned by one of our calibrators, just visit vapperformance.com, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Well, Chris, the intake didn't work like we thought it would. The good news is I've got another car that this is going to be perfect for. This is my $400 1990 something Taurus SHO.
With functioning hood latch.
A hood latch. And I think with some minor modifications, it may have itself a new cold air intake. Hey Joe! Get the laptop!